Stay with me. You're not dying today.
You saved me. I won't forget this.
A human soldier knelt in the snow on a frozen alien world. His hands started to glow with bright golden light. The alien girl in his arms had wounds so bad she should have died. Then those wounds closed right before his eyes. No medicine. No machine. Just light. Nobody on that battlefield knew why it happened. Not the aliens. Not the human. Not even the ships watching from above. This is the story that shook 3 star systems. It is the moment when the galaxy first saw what humans could really do. But the truth behind this will shock you. Why did his hands glow only for her? Why did the light refuse to stop? And what secret did the oldest races try to hide the second they saw the glow? Let me show you exactly how this happened. The planet was called Vera 9. It was cold, white, and full of death. Snow never stopped falling. The wind cut like knives. Mountains of ice rose high into the gray sky. On this day, the sky also burned. Black smoke mixed with the falling snow. Orange fire lit the clouds. A great alien warship lay broken across the valley. Its metal skin was torn open. Flames poured from its belly. Small fighter craft screamed overhead. Some flew for the humans. Some flew for the enemy. The ground shook with every distant blast. Sergeant Marcus Hale of the United Earth Forces crawled out of a half-buried trench. He was 38 years old. His beard was thick with frost. His green tactical jacket was torn at the shoulder. A small headlamp still glowed on his forehead. He had been fighting for 11 hours without rest. His unit was gone. The last radio call had been static. He was alone. Marcus moved low across the snow. He looked for any sign of life. That was when he saw her. She lay near a piece of twisted metal that had once been part of a shuttle. Her skin was soft blue. Her hair was long and pure white, almost silver under the snow. Delicate glowing lines ran across her face and neck like living tattoos. She wore dark blue armor with gold edges and small bright crystals that still pulsed with weak light. The armor was cracked in 3 places. Dark blue blood stained the white snow around her. Marcus dropped to his knees beside her. He had never seen her kind this close before. She was from the Lurath species. They were known as proud warriors and skilled builders. Most humans only met them in peace talks or short trade meetings. This one looked young. Her face was beautiful, even with the pain written on it. Her eyes were closed. Her breathing was shallow and fast. He checked her wounds. A long piece of shrapnel had gone through the side of her armor and into her ribs. Another cut ran deep across her stomach. Blue blood pumped slowly with every weak heartbeat. Marcus knew enough field medicine to understand the truth. She had minutes left. Maybe less. On Earth, a wound like this would need a full hospital team. Out here, there was only snow, fire, and him. He pulled a small med kit from his backpack. The kit was almost empty. He pressed a bandage against the worst wound. The blue blood soaked through it in seconds. The girl made a soft sound of pinches. Her eyes fluttered open for a moment. They were bright silver. She looked at him with pure fear and something like wonder. Then her eyes closed again. Marcus felt the cold seep into his own bones. He had lost too many friends already. He refused to watch another person die if he could stop it. He pressed both gloved hands over the wound and put weight on it. "Stay with me," he said. His voice was rough from smoke and cold. "Just stay with me." That was when the light began. It started as a warm feeling in his palms. At first he thought it was just his own blood flowing again after the cold. Then the warmth grew stronger. A soft golden glow appeared under his gloves. The light pushed through the fabric like it was nothing. Bright yellow sparks jumped between his fingers. The glow became brighter and brighter, until it looked like small lightning living inside his hands. Marcus stared. He wanted to pull away. Fear told him to run. but something deeper held him still. The light felt right. It felt like it belonged there. He kept his hands on her wounds. The golden energy poured into her body. The blue blood stopped flowing. The torn flesh under the armor began to close. He could see the skin knitting itself together through the cracks in the metal. The deep cuts sealed as if time itself had reversed. The shrapnel that was still inside her body was pushed out slowly by the light. It fell into the snow with a soft hiss. The alien girl's breathing slowed and became steady. Color returned to her blue cheeks. The glowing lines on her face brightened. She was no longer dying. She was healing. Right there in the snow. Right under his hands. Marcus did not move. He could not move. The golden light kept flowing. It felt like it came from somewhere deep inside his chest. Not just his hands. His heart beat hard. His arms shook. He had no idea what was happening. He only knew that the girl who should have been dead was now breathing like she would live. Behind him, the burning ship gave a great groan. A new explosion lit the sky orange. Snow fell harder. Fighter craft still raced above the mountains. But in that small circle of golden light, the war seemed far away. Marcus looked down at his glowing hands, and then at the peaceful face of the young Lurath girl. One clear thought filled his mind. Nobody had ever told him humans could do this. The light slowly faded. His hands returned to normal. The girl stayed still, but her chest rose and fell with strong, even breaths. Marcus sat back on his heels in the snow. He stared at his palms as if they belonged to someone else. The wind howled around them. The fires still burned. Yet the only thing he could hear was the sound of his own heart and the soft breathing of the alien he had just saved. He did not know her name. He did not know why the light had come. He only knew that something impossible had just happened on Vera 9, and the galaxy would never look at humans the same way again. Marcus stayed by her side for a long time. The golden light was gone, but the memory of it burned in his mind. He checked her pulse. It was strong. He checked the places where the wounds had been. Smooth blue skin showed under the broken armor. No scars. No blood. Nothing. It was as if the injuries had never existed. The girl opened her eyes. Silver light looked up at him. She tried to speak. Her voice was soft and musical even though it was weak. "What are you?" she asked in broken galactic standard. Marcus shook his head. "Just a human. Name's Marcus. You're safe now." She looked at her own body. Her long blue fingers touched the places where death had almost taken her. Her eyes grew wide. "The light, it came from you. My people have stories. Old stories. We thought they were only myths." Before he could ask what she meant, the ground shook again. A group of Lurath soldiers appeared over the ridge. Their armor was dark blue and gold like hers, but thicker and built for war. They raised weapons the moment they saw the human kneeling over one of their own. Marcus raised his empty hands slowly. He did not want a fight. Not now. The lead soldier was taller and older. His face markings glowed bright with anger. He shouted something in the Lurath tongue. The girl answered quickly. Her words were calm but firm. The soldiers lowered their weapons a little. They still watched Marcus with hard eyes. She sat up with his help. "This human saved me," she told them. "My wounds were fatal. I was already entering the final cold." Then his hands glowed with the old light. "The wounds closed. Look for yourselves." The soldiers stepped closer. One of them ran a small scanner over her body. The device made soft beeps. The soldier's face changed from anger to pure shock. He spoke fast to the others. They all stared at Marcus as if he were something from a dream or a nightmare. The leader spoke in careful standard. "Humans do not have this power. No race in the known galaxy has this power. What did you do to her?" Marcus felt the cold wind on his face. "I don't know. I put my hands on her wounds. The light just came. I didn't plan it. I didn't even know I could do it. The girl placed a hand on his arm. Her skin was warm now. My name is Lyra, she said. I am a navigator of the Lurath fleet. You have given me back my life. My people will want answers. But first we must leave this place. The enemy is still close. They helped Lyra stand. She was weak, but she could walk. Marcus stayed close. The Lurath soldiers formed a circle around them both. They moved toward a hidden valley, where a small Lurath shuttle waited under white camouflage netting. The journey was short but tense. Every sound made the soldiers raise their weapons. Marcus kept looking at his hands. They looked normal again. Just human hands. Yet he could still feel faint warmth under the skinches. Inside the shuttle, the air was warm. Soft blue lights glowed along the walls. Lyra sat on a medical bed, while a Lurath healer ran more scans. The results made the healer step back in silence. No damage. Perfect health. The only strange reading was a faint golden energy signature that matched nothing in their computers. The shuttle lifted into the snowy sky and raced toward the main Lurath command ship that waited high above the clouds. Marcus sat near a window and watched the burning wreck of the enemy ship grow smaller below. He thought about Earth, about the simple life he had left behind, about how no training manual had ever mentioned glowing hands that could close fatal wounds. When they docked with the big ship, a full medical team waited. They took Lyra away for more tests. They also took Marcus. They were polite but firm. He was placed in a clean white room with soft light. Scanners moved over his body for almost an hour. He answered every question the best he could. He told them the truth. He had no idea how the light had come. It had simply happened when he needed to save her life. A tall Lurath elder entered the room. His white hair was long, and his face markings were deep and complex. He looked at Marcus for a long time without speaking. Finally he said, "We have searched our oldest records. There are stories from before the stars were fully mapped. Stories of a race that could call the life light with their bare hands. We always believed those stories were about gods or ancient myths. We never thought they were about humans." Marcus felt a chill that had nothing to do with the cold planet below. What does that mean? The elder's silver eyes were serious. It means the galaxy has been wrong about your kind for a very long time. Word spread fast. On a ship full of soldiers and officers, secrets do not last. Soon every Lurath on board knew that a human had healed one of their navigators with glowing hands. Some were afraid. Some were angry. Most were simply stunned. Humans were known as tough fighters and clever builders. They were not known as miracle workers. Marcus was given a private cabin. It was larger than any room he had ever had on an Earth ship. Soft blue light filled the space. A large window showed the curve of Vera 9 and the distant stars. He sat on the edge of the bed and stared at his hands again. He tried to make the light return. He focused. He remembered the exact feeling of fear and need when Lyra was dying. Nothing happened. His hands stayed normal. There was a soft chime at the door. Lyra entered. She looked strong again. Her armor had been repaired. Her white hair was clean and shining. The glowing lines on her face pulsed gently. She carried a small data pad. "They finished the deep scans," she said. "My body is perfect. Better than before the battle. The energy you gave me is still inside me, but it is quiet now. The elders want to speak with both of us." They walked together through the long halls of the ship. Other Lurath stepped aside and watched them pass. Some whispered. Some simply stared. Marcus felt their eyes on his back like heat. The council chamber was round and high. Soft light came from the walls. 12 elders sat in a half-circle. The same tall elder who had spoken to Marcus earlier stood in the center. He gestured for them to come forward. "Sergeant Marcus Hale of Earth," the elder said. Navigator Lyra of the Lureth. Tell us everything again. Leave nothing out. Marcus told the story once more. The snow, the wounds, the light, the healing. Lyra added her own memories. She described the feeling of death coming close, and then the sudden warm golden river that pushed the cold away. She said the light had felt alive. It had felt kind. When they finished, silence filled the chamber. One elder finally spoke. We have contacted the Galactic Archive. They have no record of any human ever doing this. Yet our oldest myths speak of the golden hands that could mend any wound. Those myths are more than 10,000 years old. They come from a time before most races even reached the stars. Another elder leaned forward. If humans can do this, why have we never seen it before? Why only now? Why only with this girl? Marcus shook his head. I don't know. I've never felt anything like it. I've been in a dozen battles. I've held dying friends. Nothing like this ever happened. Lyra spoke softly. Maybe the light only comes when it is needed most. Or maybe it only comes for certain people. Or maybe humans have always had it and simply forgot how to use it. The tall elder looked at both of them. We will keep this quiet for now. If the wrong races learn that humans can heal with light, they will either fear you or try to control you. Neither path is safe. Sergeant Hale, you will stay with us for a short time. We will study the energy signature carefully. Navigator Lyra, you will remain close to him. If the light returns, we must understand it. Marcus felt the weight of those words. He was no longer just a soldier who had survived a bad battle. He was something the galaxy had never expected. A human with a power no one could explain. That night he stood at the window of his cabin and watched the stars. He thought about the people back on Earth. His sister in Chicago. His old friends in London who still sent messages every month. What would they say if they knew? What would the governments of Earth say? What would the rest of the galaxy do when the secret finally got out? He did not have answers. He only had the memory of golden light and a young alien girl who was alive because of it. 3 days later, the light returned. It happened during a quiet moment. Marcus and Lyra were in a small observation room. They were talking about their homes. She told him about the crystal cities of her people and the singing rivers that glowed at night. He told her about rain in Seattle and the smell of coffee in New York streets. For a short time, the war felt far away. Then an alarm sounded. Red lights flashed. The ship systems reported an enemy boarding party. Somehow a small group of hostile aliens had slipped past the defenses. They were already inside the lower decks. The ship went to full combat status. Marcus and Lyra ran toward the nearest armory. They never reached it. A blast door sealed in front of them. Behind them, another door sealed. They were trapped in a short hallway with no weapons. Heavy footsteps came from both ends. The enemy had cut them off. The first hostile turned the corner. It was tall and insect-like with dark armor and sharp blades for arms. It raised a weapon. Lyra pushed Marcus behind her and tried to shield him with her own body. The weapon fired. A bright bolt of energy hit her square in the chest. She fell against him with a soft cry. Smoke rose from the new hole in her armor. Blue blood spread fast. Marcus felt pure rage and fear at the same time. He caught her as she fell. Her silver eyes looked up at him. "It is all right," she whispered. "You already saved me once." "No," he said. His voice was hard. "Not again." The golden light exploded from his hands without warning. It was stronger this time. Brighter. The entire hallway filled with warm yellow radiance. The energy poured into Lyra's new wound. The hole in her armor closed. The blood stopped. Her body arched as the light flooded through her. In less than 10 seconds, she was whole again. The insect-like enemy staggered back, its weapon lowering in shock. Marcus stood up. The light still glowed around his hands and arms. It moved like living fire. He did not know how he did it, but he pushed the light forward. A wave of golden energy washed down the hallway. The enemy soldiers were thrown backward. Their weapons sparked and died. They lay still, not dead, but completely stunned. More Lurath soldiers arrived seconds later. They found Marcus standing over Lyra with glowing hands and a hallway full of defeated enemies. No one spoke for a long moment. Then the tall elder's voice came over the ship's speakers. Bring them both to the council chamber. Now. In the chamber, the mood was different. Fear mixed with respect. The elders had watched the security recordings. They had seen the light stop a fatal wound a second time, and then disarm trained killers without killing them. One elder said, "This is no accident. The power answers him. It protects those he cares for, and it grows stronger." Lyra stood beside Marcus. She looked proud and a little afraid at the same time. "My people have a choice," she said to the elders. "We can fear this human and try to hide him. Or we can accept that the old myths were true. Humans carry the golden hands, and this one has chosen to use them to save life, not take it." Marcus looked at every elder in turn. "I don't want power," he said simply. "I just want to keep people alive. If this light helps me do that, then I'll use it. But I won't be a weapon for anyone. Not for Earth. Not for the Lurath. Not for anyone." The tall elder studied him for a long time. Then he nodded. "We will protect your secret as long as we can. But secrets like this do not stay hidden forever. When the galaxy learns what humans can do, everything will change. You must be ready. Sergeant Hale, your people must be ready." Marcus felt the truth of those words settle deep in his chest. The simple soldier who had crawled through snow on Vera 9 no longer existed. In his place stood something the stars had not seen in 10,000 years. 2 weeks later, Marcus stood once more on the surface of Vera 9. The battle was over. The enemy had retreated. Snow still fell, but the fires were gone. Only black scars remained on the white land. A small Earth shuttle waited nearby. His ride home. Lyra stood with him. Her white hair moved in the cold wind. The glowing lines on her face were bright and calm. Behind them, a group of Lurath elders and officers waited in respectful silence. "You could stay," she said softly. "My people would honor you. You would never want for anything." Marcus smiled a little. "I have a sister who worries when I don't call, and a planet that still needs soldiers who can dig trenches and hold the line. But I'll come back. The light is part of me now. I need to understand it, and I think your people can help me do that." She nodded. "We will wait for you. And Marcus, thank you. Not just for my life, for showing us that humans are more than we ever believed." He looked at his hands one last time. They looked ordinary, but he knew the golden light was still there, waiting under the skinches, ready when it was needed most. He climbed into the Earth shuttle. As the engines rose, he looked out the window. Lyra raised one blue hand in farewell. The Lurath around her did the same. Marcus raised his own hand in return. For a brief second, a soft golden glow appeared around his fingers. Then it faded. The shuttle climbed into the gray sky and toward the stars. Far away, on a dozen different worlds, old archives were being opened. Ancient myths were being read again. Scientists began to ask new questions about the strange race called humans. And deep in the galactic archive, a single file that had been sealed for 10,000 years was quietly unlocked. The file contained only 4 words. "The Golden Hands return." Marcus Hale did not know about the file yet. He only knew that he was going home with a secret that could change everything. And that somewhere in the snow of a distant world, a beautiful blue-skinned girl with silver eyes was alive because his hands had glowed when no one thought they could. The galaxy would learn the truth soon enough. When it did, nothing would ever be the same. The real shock came later. Months after Marcus returned to Earth, quiet tests began among other human soldiers. A few of them, only a few, also showed faint golden energy when they tried to save a life. The power was not his alone. It was sleeping inside the human race itself. The oldest races had known. They had hidden the truth because they feared what humans might become if they ever remembered. Marcus still serves. He still fights when he must. But now he also teaches. He shows other humans how to reach for the light when it is needed most. The girl named Lyra visits Earth often. Together they remind both species that the strongest power in the galaxy is not the power to destroy. It is the power to heal. If this opened your eyes. Marcus's glowing hands proved that humans still hold secrets the galaxy has never seen. One act of pure need woke an ancient power. One life saved changed how entire races see us. The light is real. The myths are real. And more humans are starting to wake up. If you felt the power of this story, hit that like button right now. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell so you never miss the next HFY tale. Drop a comment and tell me, do you think the golden light is sleeping inside you too? Watch the next video on your screen if you want to see what happens when the rest of the galaxy finally learns the truth about human hands. And if you want more deep HFY stories and early access to new tales, join our free newsletter link in the description. The stars are waiting. Let's keep exploring them together.